Alrighty, everybody, welcome back to the Bears Den. How is everyone doing today, guys? Hope you're all having a wonderful day today. It is Tuesday, it is talk show day. Oops, helps if I start up with the right scene. That would definitely help. How is everyone doing, though, guys? Hope you're all having a wonderful Tuesday today. Um, as always, on Tuesday night, as is a custom, we wind up talking about all the nitty gritty, fun, good, bad, ugly, and just silly news in regards to the video game industry. Some of it, like I said, good, some of it bad, some ugly, all for the simple fact of preventing you guys from getting spammed by ads. Because let's face it, uh, news websites for video games are horribly bogged down with an ass ton of ads, which is never a good thing. So save yourself the trouble. Let us do it for you. Other than that, we got some goodies today. Got some. I personally don't have a lot of. Well, actually, yeah, I really don't have much in the way of like quote unquote bummer drummers. So that's a good thing. I mean,
So, friendos, how is everyone doing today? I
there's all
hope
that coming through.
super well. Uh,
That's that's why it's the wrong thing. Haha, silly me. Um, I hit the wrong button. But we're gonna be doing the talk show here, guys. As you can hear, well, as you heard a little bit there, Alex started his stream up. I'm starting my stream up here, so we're gonna be diving into it very quickly. Um, and yeah, hope you enjoy all the news. If you got questions, by all means, feel free, throw them in here. Let's hear them. You got comments, concerns, whatever, raise them. We'll try discussing them. So, with that being said, crack open a beer and sit back, relax, enjoy some good times. Here we go.
slash, that's about. Hello,
Hello, how are you?
you are still muted.
Hello, how are you?
Hi, good. How are you?
Sorry, I hit the wrong button the first time, and then I heard you coming through Discord, but I muted my mic, so it's like, oops, my bad.
Oh, that's funny.
Like I said during pre-roll, a nice hat there.
Mm.
Definitely very cool of you.
It
So
is a woman's hat that I bought from Target, like I don't even know, 15 years ago at this point. It just like my head is super tiny. I know with the camera, like I look obviously, skewed, but my head is super tiny. And apparently it's woman's head size because this was just like and I was like, fuck yeah, let's go. Oh, $10 fucking sold.
still looks good on you, though. I will give you
Thank
that.
you. Thank you. I appreciate that.
So.
Um, so how's everyone in your chat? Are they doing well?
Quiet at the moment. Frosty says, sadly, too early for beer on your side of the world. No,
Oh,
no
okay.
worries, no worries. That's fine. We'll start having the beer for you though, at the very least.
Yeah, here's one for you. You can take this cheers for when you get the drink.
Yeah, exactly.
Hmm.
So,
Ah.
uh,
So, fun week. Got a bunch of kind of good stuff coming. Not a big bummer drummer week. I
yeah,
love that,
yeah. I mean, I've got, I
Um,
think, one, maybe two bummer drummers, but even then, it's like, for
okay,
being
I'll take
bummers.
that.
So,
Hey, better in the last like fucking 4 months.
oh,
So
oh God, yeah,
whatever.
yeah, exactly,
Um,
exactly.
and the one Blizzard Activision story I have is actually a good one. So there
Wait,
you go.
huh?
I know, 2 weeks in a row. I mean, it's like not the best. It's like another one of those like, good job, guys. Yeah, nice, nice.
Yeah, okay.
Um,
Okay.
Hell, let's just start off right with it. How's
Yeah.
that?
Okay, sounds good. Sounds good.
Activision Blizzard announced this yesterday that all of their contractors will be paid a minimum of $17 an hour. Hey, for a contractor, that's not too shabby.
Yeah, yeah.
I certainly made less than that working as a contractor for EA before I got full time.
Yep.
And contractors will also get paid vacations for holiday days. Uh,
Cool.
Even EA doesn't do that for contractors. Uh, so, I mean, it's more like, hey, please stop hating us, like kind of a thing in my eyes. But Contractors are very rarely spoken of
Mhm.
in the video game sphere,
Oh yeah.
even though they're a huge backbone of it.
Yes. Oh, very much so.
Like so, um, congratulations to those guys. That's great, and I'm hoping that applies to all of their branches because EA, for example, has branches all over the world.
Mhm.
And they have a big one of their testing centers is in Croatia. So I'm assuming Activision Blizzard being at least as big, if not bigger, than EA, that they would be putting those same rules. Or if you can't do the 17 USD, make it a sliding thing where it equals kind of a thing.
Right. Right. So yeah, yeah, that is definitely a very good thing.
Mhm.
Again, with everything, the giant shitstorm coming out of Activision Blizzard at the moment, it's kind of like, okay, it's a step in the right direction, but
Very good.
it's a step in the right direction.
Right. Right. We
So,
should we should even if people are shitlords, if they are making forward movement, no matter how small, we should applaud at
applaud
least the
them.
effort.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. So,
Right. So
or
good
if
stuff.
not applaud them, at least recognize them
All right.
for the
Hey, nice
effort.
job.
Yeah,
Nice job treating people like people.
yeah, exactly, exactly.
Like, I'm
So,
gonna yeah.
yeah,
All right. So that was a good one. Nice start off.
yep. We're just gonna rip the band-aid completely off. I'm gonna throw down another one of my little bummer drummers. Um, Final Fantasy 14.
Mhm. Oh
Huge
yeah.
game, huge game. Um, and even though this is a bummer drummer, it's actually very admirable as far as what the news is.
Yeah.
The new expansion was supposed to come out on the 23rd.
Yep.
They said that they've had to delay it for 2 weeks
Yep.
for stability purposes, for stability reasons. Here's the interesting part of this. It's not like they're sitting here going, "Oh my god, we totally forgot about trying to make the game stable." It's in a perfectly stable condition right now. The thing is though, it's with the huge influx of players that they've had coming from WoW, they want to make sure that even when launch day comes, everybody gets it and signs in. No one's sitting there like, okay, I'm in queue for eight
Yeah.
hours. They want to make sure that everybody gets into the game in a timely manner and things don't blow up. And the really interesting part about this is the game director in a live stream actually was in tears announcing he had to push back the release date by 2 weeks.
That dude is fucking dedicated. Holy shit.
Yeah, and I'm honestly, I think it's more of difference in cultures because he was very not like, oh hey, we're just pushing it back, tough.
Apologetic.
He was very like sincere in his apology,
Yeah.
and just that simple fact of him being sincere and telling the player base, hey, I'm terribly sorry. We have to push this back. We're trying to make sure that the product we're going to be releasing is not only what you expect it to be, but what we expect it to be as well. And that says a lot. That really
Yeah.
does.
It does.
So,
And it really is admirable, right?
mhm.
Like, because I mean, how many WoW launches have been like there's hundreds of dudes standing around a gate, like TikTok, like, and then it's this fucking all right, well, you go in and then you go in, like,
Yep.
um, so it's nice. This is it also does show the difference between the two once again.
Yeah. Yeah. Very much so.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Uh I guess I do have. It's not really though, because we didn't really know anything about it. Ah, fuck it. Let's talk about it.
Okay.
Uh, so Take Two, Interactive. We don't really get to talk about them very much because they're kind of more quietly in the background in the publishing side of things.
Yep.
I mean, they own a shit ton of properties. If you really look at the umbrella, it's Rockstar, it's 2K games. It's a huge umbrella.
Oh yeah.
Um, but uh, they shuttered an unannounced superhero game under the development of Harbor 18. They Harbor 18 is the guys who did Mafia 3. Do you remember that? Do you remember that Mafia series?
Yep.
Um, that kind of sucks. But then when I looked a little bit more into it, um, Take Two had put $53 million into this title, and none of us publicly have heard of it yet. Yikes! that's
Wow.
a Yeah, that's a significant fucking chunk of cash for the general public to not even know that this was going on. Um, Sucks for Hangar 18.
Yeah.
Um, because like I dude, $53 million, that means you had to be working on that title for years.
Hmm.
Like, right?
Yeah.
Like that's a long amount of time. So either something got fucked up between the two of them, or there just wasn't enough because what vertical slices are when you go and you show
Oh
your
yeah. Yeah.
publisher. For those of you who don't know, in the video game industry, vertical slices are basically little tiny demo middle chunks of games where we say, hey, this is where we've gotten to, this is what the next one's going to be, and then we physically hand the controller to the people who basically wear the suits. Um, and clearly, one of those last couple must have been a couple because you don't spend $53 million. Yeah, it must have been real bad, or
Yeah.
maybe there was no direction on it. The thing that's a bummer is with the popularity of superheroes, we don't know if it was a licensed superhero thing or if they were trying to do an unlicensed thing. My thought is that with $53 million, it had to be a licensed title, though, right?
To some extent, yeah.
I mean,
Wouldn't
nobody's gonna throw in that money to a nothing project, you know?
right. Right.
Um, yeah.
It's definitely interesting because, like you said, that's a lot of money to effectively just sit there and be like, "Oh, hey, flush."
Yeah. That's exactly what I was thinking when I
it's
was reading. I was
it's,
like,
it's amazing how we both were just like the same motion at these. It's like,
well, and
yep,
it's funny
yep,
too because if it was $53 that I had flushed, I would have been like, "Oh, damn it!"
yeah,
Like if it had fallen on my pocket,
yeah.
like I would have been pissed off about that. Let alone, 53 million.
Tack on
Um,
6 zeros to that.
right, right. And God knows how much work and time and
Yeah.
effort.
Oh God. Yeah.
But the I guess it's better to cut your losses because if it was at $53 million now and they're cutting it, what would it have ballooned to get it on the store shelves only to have it kind of flunk, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. And
Um,
now that you mention it, it's probably the train of thought that they were kind of looking at was okay, we've put in this much money to it,
right,
and what do we have at the moment versus how much more do we need to put in to get it the rest of the way?
right. And how many people do we need to change around staffing wise? Maybe some people need to leave and we need to bring in better leadership,
Yep.
or like there's a million and one. Like I know that people always assume that games are like magic, but you don't realize kind of until you get in the industry, like how many moving parts
Oh God, yeah.
are in that like clock that you're trying to assemble, being like the finished title.
Hmm.
Um, and boy howdy, $53 million. Thank God you do own Rockstar because what dude, even that fucking GTA trilogy,
Hmm.
that'll end up making scatty billion fucking dollars. So maybe that's part of it. They were just like, fuck it, we'll just put this fucking trilogy out. It'll be fine. We'll make our money back.
Yeah, yeah. So, definitely interesting to say the least.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm hoping because this is the other thing. Just quick side note. Uh when shit like that happens to companies uh that are making a game underneath a publisher, if you end up blowing that, it kind of makes your reputation look bad too. Because Hanger isn't owned by 2K.
Yeah.
So they were being like basically contracted to make that game. So hopefully that doesn't sink the entire goddamn studio.
Yep.
Because Mafia 3 didn't do very well either. Um, even though it was a good game. I thought it was fine. The main character was a little bland. Um, but the game was fine. It played great. Like, whatever. It's a
Okay,
multi title.
cool.
So, hope those dudes don't fucking think the entire fucking ship.
Yeah, yeah. All right. I think this is the only quote unquote bummer drummer that I've got left. So I think we're like after this, we're just once we rip the band-aid off, we're done.
Unspoken
We're done with
conversations.
bummer drummers. So
Yep.
hey,
Great.
that's a great
Fantastic.
thing.
Yep.
Ubisoft with Far Cry 6. Players have already beaten it and moved on to other games, and Ubisoft is like, "Hey, email, come back, play some more." It's like, don't don't be sending me emails to go play a game that I already beat and like that.
Well, so the email was framed
Yeah,
that it was Juan Carlos, the bad guy of it,
right.
and that he was actually it was supposed to be. I'm assuming that their time dropped off of played because it wasn't just you beat it.
Yes.
The way I read it, the way that I read the email and the way that I felt about it
Mhm.
was that it was players who didn't beat the game and just got bored and fucked off. So their brilliant marketing decision was let's send everyone emails taunting them like, aha, you didn't save the island. Um, really weird marketing decision
Mhm.
though. Really weird.
Yeah, because like the taunt in the email is uh quote unquote quote here. Surely you can do better than this, and it breaks down some of your stats like time played and hours, total kills, unique weapons collected, stealth kills, and it's like really
Also, really, should we be highlighting how many kills the player has? Like,
apparently
you didn't even murder that many of my countrymen. Like, what the fuck?
yeah apparently yeah
That's a weird thing to fucking bring up, Juan Carlos.
yeah but I mean it's one thing to as a game development studio to want to have your players or to want to have the player base continue playing the game, but to then send your players emails saying, "Oh, you can do better than this." It's like, okay, now that makes me not want to play your game even more.
Yeah, and it makes you look desperate, you know?
Yes. Yeah.
And like, what are you gonna do next? Like, fucking have a guy show up at my door?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, really.
like, hey, what's up? So looks like you didn't finish our game. And he's got like a baseball bat. It's like, dude, like this isn't a good look for your company.
Mhm. Yeah.
And with
Especially in some of the other things going on with Ubisoft as well
Ubi,
too. Yeah.
yep. And frankly, like, I just don't rationality, like for me, is like I don't like this is a bad marketing move, and it got through everybody, right?
Mhm.
And then went out the door, which means like I don't know. It's a bad. Do you remember back in the day, Acclaim? Do you remember that company,
Oh yeah.
Acclaim?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Well, do you remember in like the early 2000s, they were like pretty much a joke by about 2005. They had so many of these like stupid shock tactic marketing things like the bus station stop that bled blood and Shadow Man trying to like sell advertisement space on tombstones. Like painting the Virtua Tennis 3 logo on pigeons and then just releasing them in the major city. Like, what the fuck? This is not as bad, granted, but it still kind of reeks of that. You know what I'm saying? Where you're like, man,
Oh
this is
yeah.
just desperate. Like, you're
Yep.
kind of becoming a laughing stock.
Mhm.
Uh, so,
Name your kid Turok.
right, right.
Yep.
Name your kid Tarek. We'll pay for all of your speeding fines on the day that Burnout, or was it Burnout? Yeah, I think it was Burnout. No, Burnout's EA.
Yeah.
I don't remember what the fuck it was, but it was a racing game. And
Right.
the day that they came out, they said to everyone in the UK, "We'll pay for your speeding tickets." Dude, that's reckless endangerment. Like,
Yeah.
what the fuck?
Yeah.
Um,
That's just plain stupid there.
yeah, it's really not smart. Like, it is legit not smart. Um, so yeah, I don't know. It's a weird idea. It's not John Romero telling me he's gonna make me his fucking, rape victim. So I guess it's again better than that.
True.
but
True.
but a little
Um
weird.
the weird part though of this is the simple fact that someone said, hey, let's do this.
Mm.
And everybody along the
Yeah.
way, all the way up to the final yes or no, said, yes, it's a good
It
thing. Let's do this.
it
And it's
shows
like,
how much weight marketing has.
yeah,
When marketing people, no offense, if you're a marketing person, don't fucking know shit about their player bases in video games. They're there to do the job like it's you're trying to sell me this fucking pen. You know what I'm saying? That is a
yep,
very different thing than how the video game industry works. Yeah, very weird.
it,
Uh, Good.
I was gonna say it's funny how you mentioned marketing there because I've got another story that I think the way it was pitched is very much from a marketing perspective of the game that it ties into.
All right.
So
Um, you want to talk some kind of crazy shit?
sure, why not?
So, there is a dude. He is named the Flow. He is a notorious hacker who cracks hardware and OS systems. He was actually noted as the man who cracked the Vita open. He's kind of got a reputation for it. Um, Turns out 3 days ago, he sent out a tweet saying that he has figured out a way to crack the PS5 already. So, just for scale here, I'm going to give you some other numbers. My dog is sick. I'm sorry.
Hmm?
Nick, lay down, bub. Lay down. It's okay. Yep, get a little drink and then lay down. He's got an ear infection. Um, so, um, let's just throw out some numbers here. The PS3 came out in 2006 and wasn't actually cracked until 2011. The PS4 came out in 2013 and wasn't cracked until 2018. So you can see how long these gaps were before it took this reverse engineering of getting to the source code.
Yep.
Um, the Flow already sent a picture of the PlayStation up and running with debug menu on the bottom, and there is an official timestamp that like basically can't be photoshopped. Uh, Another group that came along said that they have found root codes, which are basically what go to the kernel. Yeah, that goes to the
Wow.
kernel. And they said information coming. So we might have a very crazy PS5 generation where like we can have emulators running backwards and just everybody or anyone in the tech know having modded PlayStation 5s within let's call it a year or maybe two.
God.
Crazy, right?
Jeez, yeah. Yeah, that's definitely
Yeah. Impressive how good these guys have gotten. I also wonder, I was thinking this when I was reading it, since the architecture internally over the generations, like before every console and every console generation counting Xbox, fucking PlayStation, GameCube, everything.
Mhm.
Um, all those internal all of the internal hard code shit was different from one to one. At this point, we're basically just making mini PCs.
Yep.
Like the architecture is just mini PCs, and I'm wondering if that accounts for some of this.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Because I mean, yes, you want to make it so that your PlayStation games can't be run on an Xbox or vice versa. But at the same point in time, it's all the same pathway of everything going around. It like it all goes into the CPU, out to the like GPU, RAM,
Yeah.
all that stuff. I mean, it's not like, oh hey, this has a XYZ, whereas it's this brand new
47
piece
different
of
cores.
hardware. Yeah, I
Right.
mean, it's
Right.
all the same. So
Right.
it's not like we're just magically coming up with mystical hardware that says, "Oh, I'm magical." Eee.
No, this is
So
literally basically the basics of it are just PCs at this point.
yeah,
Really, really fucking crazy though. How fast this is coming around. To be fair, kind of cool. Like, I have, Microsoft, you're listening. I don't have this, but I have a fucking modded Xbox, like original,
yeah,
and I have the MAME emulator on it. I have a fucking 64 emulator. I have like literally, it's got like 7 gajillion games on it that I just put on there.
yeah,
Um, like, so, and I still have it.
yeah,
Like, and I still occasionally bust it out because I'm like, you know what? I want to play the original Ninja Gaiden arcade. Bam, I can do so. Um, so there is a point to be made that having a cracked console almost weirdly extends its lifespan.
yeah.
That was, in fact, the hard drive in that was the first 500 gig hard drive I ever purchased.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah, like, and it was fucking pricey back then.
True.
But again,
Yeah.
worth so bad.
Yeah, which is actually that's a whole nother good thing too, because that means less electronic waste.
Right,
So,
right.
because I mean,
Um,
yes, I technically still have my original Xbox, my PS2, uh, and every console that I've owned since then. But it's a thing of I don't bust them out.
no,
So, I mean, yes, they're not in a landfill just sitting there, but
right.
yeah,
Yeah, because e-waste is like I think e-waste is our fifth biggest at this point.
I believe it.
When
Yeah,
the Yeah, I think when the dudes who were doing garbage count, I think this was in 2017 even. E-waste, they listed it on their website. E-waste was like our fifth highest for humanity.
yeah,
Not great. Just putting that out
yeah,
there.
yeah. Definitely not a good thing.
Yeah, we really got to start reusing stuff a little bit more. And fucking only like 17% of materials get recycled, which is abysmal
Mhm.
because the technology is rotating so quickly that, like, why, keep this old VCR kind of,
Yeah, yeah.
so
Especially
much stuff.
considering how a lot of electronic components you can't just throw it away because it
They're
has
heavy
some sort
metals.
of heavy metal or hazardous material in it.
Right.
So yeah,
Right. And usually it's heavy metals, which you can't put in the ocean
yep.
and you can't bury, and their half life is like way too fucking long. Yeah, it's kind of crazy.
Yep.
I try not to think about it a lot of times because I'm like, man, humanity is the fucking worst. Like,
Oh yeah.
we are disgusting.
There's the bummer drummer for the week, guys.
Yeah, there we go. Hey, I brought it back around. Good for us.
uh, alrighty. Uh, let's go with this one. New World.
Oh yeah.
Hey, it's back again, folks. Um, they've actually now got it to a point of they're turning economy back on. They're turning on character transfers, and they've come out and officially said apparently they've officially said that they were able to uh isolate people who were intentionally
Mhm.
duplicating money and like that and got rid of a lot of that money in the game.
Oh,
So
wow, that's good.
that's good.
Because we were talking about that last week that I thought that was going to be much harder to do.
Yeah. Apparently they were able to do it, which is good.
That is good.
And they've also officially announced that hey, if you're caught doing it intentionally or accidentally, boop.
Or accidentally?
Well, it's not something. Oh, I'm just going to accidentally
Yeah, I
implement
guess
this
that's true.
HTML code that actually does this code, this gold dupe. Ah ha
Yeah,
ha. It'd be a very big stretch to accidentally do that.
accidentally.
Yeah. So
Uh,
it's basically a thing of if you're caught doing it, boop,
uh,
you're
did they
banned.
say? Did they say it was going to be account ban or IP ban?
I believe it was account ban that they
Okay,
said.
well, that's fine. You got
So
to pay for another copy.
yeah,
That's probably the smart play.
yeah,
Uh, Yeah, I kind of feel bad. I mean, I do and I don't, because it's admirable to try to do a new MMO, even with the pockets of Amazon.
Yeah.
But my God, is that a fucking money sink? That's like buying a boat. Like
Mm.
you're just dumping millions of dollars into that fuck just to keep it afloat.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Um,
I will, like you said, I will applaud them on the simple fact of they tried to bring a new MMO into the world here.
yep.
And like most MMOs, it has at launch its rough times.
Mhm.
And New World is not the exception. It most
Right.
certainly has had its rough times.
It's more the rule than the exception.
Yeah, very true, very true. Um, so
But hey, if you're enjoying it,
yeah,
good for you. You know?
I've actually at times before I started digging in and seeing all the bad things going on, I have actually at times been like, I want to check it out because it's a purchase to play. It does
Mhm.
not have a subscription to it, so it's you buy the game, boop, there you go.
I
So
have I have a personal minor bias against that game, so this is completely and totally sidetracking it, but I don't care.
okay,
Um, One of the Smite content creators that I have liked for I don't even know how many years at this point. His name's Duke Sloth. Um, I noticed that he wasn't uploading any videos for Smite, so I tweeted him. He's super cool, and he also lives in Australia, so like the time zone thing kind of like works out nicely for me.
yeah,
Anyway, every time I've ever tweeted him, he's always replied. Super good guy. So I asked, I was like, "So what's the deal? You just not making any Smite content anymore?" And he linked me one of his streams like clipped to the part where he explained that like basically he's just like not having fun on Smite anymore. The videos were getting less and less likes. And he's been having fun with New World. So and I was like, yeah, I get it. So there's a little part of me that's like, fuck you, New World. You took fucking Deuce from me. And now I gotta look up fucking builds on my own like a fucking animal. Cause that guy was like a numbers guy, he did all the
yeah,
numbers for me.
yeah,
Yeah. So personal bias, but personal
yeah,
bias aside, that game looks okay.
yeah, yeah.
Uh, so speaking of personal biases, I've got another one that I'd like to talk about. Back for Blood, new release. It's basically Left 4 Dead. We all know what I'm talking about, I'm assuming.
Yep.
Uh, Released their roadmap, short term and long term, today, which is cool. Hey, good. We need that kind of visibility in today's day and age in
Hmm.
video gaming.
Oh yeah.
We need that clarity, especially because fucking Back for Blood kind of pisses me off and annoys me to no end.
Yep.
I am this fucking close to losing one more time to bullshit before I'm gonna be like fucking uninstall. Anyways, um, so
Hey,
there's my
Savage.
personal little rant. The roadmap for November is like a meh thing, but the biggest takeaway was major bug fixes. Okay, good. You know
Yeah.
what? I'll take that. I'll take a big ass fucking patch for bugs. Great. They didn't list out what they were, but that was the highlight.
Yeah.
December, there's going to be a new card type. If you don't know, Back for Blood kind of uses a system similar to a perk system in like a Modern Warfare. If you want to draw like
Mhm.
a correlation of symbols.
Yep.
Um, so new card type, which is cool. New cards, great.
Cool.
Hey, more stuff to modify your loadouts. Great, always good stuff. And the one that I really took note of for December, solo offline campaign can now actually save, so you can actually play the game by yourself. You're not forced. Like if you want to get achievements, you can actually play by yourself, and it will actually save your data. Yay! Good job, idiots.
That was the
Um,
dumbest decision on their part.
so bad. Like just bad decision. Um,
Again, one person comes up with an idea, and everybody along the line is just like, "Oh yeah, that's a good thing." It's like, no, it's
Everybody's gonna want
not.
to play with other people. It's like, dude, no, not everybody did that in Left 4 Dead, and not everybody wants to do that here. So
Yeah.
good for you to course correct. I appreciate that. The stuff that was coming in the next year was a little watery sounding, in my opinion, but Basically, they were saying there's going to be a new co-op duos mode. Nothing about new maps. Nothing about and a for that shitty ass versus mode. This is just my opinion. They're gonna give you because you know when you're in the base camp, how you can go and shoot your guns as the humans and like practice your aim and what you like and stuff. They're gonna do that for the special infected. They're gonna have a little area where you can go and play as a special infected and practice stuff.
Okay.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
We all like that kind of stuff. Like everyone wants a training grounds kind of area. So
Yeah.
all right. Um, why why is no smoking for only 20 minutes? Because it's me, okay? That's why. Um, that is exactly why. And it's also very expensive. Um, 20 minutes is about max, especially when I'm doing stuff like this because I'm just hanging out with the guys drinking.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
It was all in caps too, like she was screaming it at me.
Wow.
um, yeah, well, it's not gonna be 20 years.
Hmm.
So I thought that was good. It's nice to see Turtle Rock being forthcoming with what they're working on and what they're doing.
Yeah. Especially
So
considering one statistic that I ran across this last week was apparently there are more people who have either left or put aside Back for Blood and gone back to Left for Dead 2.
here's the
So
funny
it's like,
thing.
not a good thing there.
So I read that too, and I went and because I love me some Left 4 Dead, I loaded it up. I still own it. It's still installed on my PC. Fucking went in. I played a versus game. Searched. Bam. There was people. I was like, fuck yeah, dude. Like so in a weird way. Back for Blood also kind of reinvigorated, a game that I love from whatever 10 fucking years ago.
Yeah.
So that's tough. But yeah, not so good for Back for
Yeah. Yeah.
Blood.
And as far as the duos mode, it's like, okay, so it's going to go from Back for Blood to Back to Blood?
Mhm.
Eh?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, yeah, I don't think so.
Whatever. I'm.
Does that mean that all of a
I'm
sudden
glad
they're
they're
going to
working
be
on it.
vampires if it's going to be
No,
Back
no,
to
no.
Blood?
That's a different game, and that's still coming out soon.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
God.
And actually, it's funny. That game I didn't realize is actually based on the Vampire the Masquerades universe. So the pen and
Ooh,
paper Vampire the
interesting.
Masquerades. Yeah, yeah,
Interesting. Yeah.
yeah. If they have a better versus, I might end up playing that more than Back for Blood because fuck that game. Uh, oof.
uh,
All right. Anyways, go for it.
alrighty. We're gonna kind of take a little bit of a twist here. Cuphead.
Please.
Cuphead.
Okay.
Game we all love and we all love to hate because of how hard it is. There's a board game for it.
Is that right?
I kid you not. There is a board
How the
game for it
fuck are
now.
you gonna make a shooter into a fucking board game?
It's dice.
Oh god, that's terrible. That
Um,
is such a cash grab.
yeah, I don't know if it's good or bad. From the screenshots I've seen of it, it's like, okay, I can see this. But at the same point in time, it's kind of like, I don't know. So,
As a board game designer, I think that's a bad idea. He says in the nerdiest douchebag voice he can.
hey,
um,
you're entitled to it.
I feel like so this has been happening more and more of late in the board gaming sphere. If I might take you on a little tangent, um, where a game gets popular, a video game,
Mhm.
Stardew Valley actually it comes to mind. Stardew Valley came out last year with a board game, and everyone in the board game community went, "Yeah, no, like you're trying to get into a sphere." That you don't really understand, and you're making mechanics that don't really like
Work.
one to one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's like when Hollywood shows up in the video game sphere and is like, "Oh, we'll show you boys how this is done," and they make some fucking
Horrible,
terrible
horrible
piece of
movie.
shit. Yeah, no, no,
Mhm.
not movie, game based
Oh
on
yeah.
some
Yeah.
property, and we all go, "Oh God, that's
No.
bad." That
Yeah.
fucking most recent Aliens game, that firefight one, is a
Yeah.
good example where we went,
Yep.
nope, wrong. So yeah, I don't know. Like, as far as the board game thing goes, I'd have to see it and play it. Maybe, probably not, because I'm not buying that.
Well,
Um,
it's $50.
Get the fuck out. The game is fucking 20. Get the
I
fuck
know.
out of my face with that.
I
That is
know.
fucking absurd. God damn it.
I know. That's part of the reason why I was like, okay, this might be good. Maybe
Yeah,
not.
six-sided dice. Yeah, those are really expensive.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's not just like regular D6. I mean, they're all like special symbols on them and like that relating to the game itself. But
Ah, good. The 1980s craze.
yeah, yeah. Um, but I mean, apparently it's 4 person or up to 4 person. That is. So it's like, okay, that's kind of
I
cool.
Here's the deal. When it comes closer out, I will do some research on it, and I will bring this back so we can talk about it at least briefly.
Okay.
Because frankly, if I had more board game people, I'd do a whole show about board games. Um,
Yeah.
all the things that I'm interested in, I love just sitting around and talking about.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So I would most assuredly be willing to do that.
Yeah. Speaking of other board games that have been transitioned from video games, Dark Souls and Bloodborne.
Yep.
It's like both of those games are high action, and then you make them into a board game, and it's like, I move over here and I play this card, and it's like, wow, this is
Well,
so riveting.
so I will tell you this: the both of those games, Dark Souls in particular, made fucking boatloads of money. You know
Yeah,
why?
because they cashed in on everybody who was going crazy over Dark Souls at the time.
Well, kind of true, but mainly because the minis were so fucking nice.
Yeah, that's
The
true too.
actual miniatures were like one-to-one replications, and I saw a dude on Board Game Geek. And man, I love that this became the board game show real quick. As everyone in my stream leaves en masse. Um, uh,
Quick, start
the
talking about Chatterbait.
Yeah, exactly. Um, I went and I looked. There was a dude who put a post. He had gone in like fully on the Kickstarter. Dude, he had like fucking 17 boxes stacked high
Shit.
of additional DLC stuff. So he probably spent 400, $500 on that
Damn.
Kickstarter. Yeah. So but I've also heard the Bloodborne one isn't as good as the Dark Souls one. And of course, everyone who's played it, guess what the main theme is for it?
Hmm.
It's hard as fuck. It is
Hmm.
hard as fuck to win.
Yeah.
Which, thematically makes total sense.
Yeah, and considering I know the Dark Souls one had minis for it. I'm trying to.
Bloodborne did too.
Oh, it did. Okay,
Oh yeah.
because I remember watching Lobos Jr. play it
Mm.
when he got it, and I couldn't remember if it was just like cardboard tokens
Nope.
or if it was actual minis.
Yep.
So
Yep. Because it rode right on the coattails of
the
Dark
Dark
Souls.
Souls game, yeah.
Yep. Um, is it me or is it you?
You. Even though we were talking
Uh,
about board games, which is
yes.
typically you.
Well, that does feel weird,
Yeah.
right? That does feel weird that the guy
Sorry,
that's working
I
is
stepped
helping.
in your domain. Sorry.
Yeah, I appreciate it. No, hey, man, I'm always willing to talk about it. Um, so let's go back to the world of NFTs and
Uh,
crypto.
uh,
I know,
uh,
but this is a huge topic right now, and I
yeah,
know it's
it is
boring.
true.
But we have to start understanding it
Mhm.
and seeing where the future is going to go.
Yeah.
We as the gaming public, we need to start, kind of drawing some lines and what's going to be acceptable, what's not going to be acceptable. So I'm going to do a really fast thing so everyone can be on the same page. Are we cool with that?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So NFTs are basically artworks that have values similar to skins in games. They can also be GIFs. It is a licensed piece of artwork. Um, and basically, they're assigned a value based on their rarity or not, or their people wanting them. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Just like skins.
Yep.
Skins. Um, so blockchain is basically a way that computers talk to each other, and that's how we get cryptocurrency mining. They can be running in the background and doing other operations, and that's kind of, I guess, the fastest way to do this without boring the tits off everybody. Do you have anything else to say about blockchain or NFTs to fill in some? I don't want to. I want to do the cliff
Not,
notes here.
yeah, not that I can think of. Not that Cliff Note worthy. That is.
Okay. At some point, if anybody, and this is like the third time we've said this, if anybody ever wants to hear us talk about this more in detail, just let us know. Say it in the chat or whatever, and we'll go more into detail. But it is kind of a little dry and a little boring and a little techy. But it's important
Yes.
because just this week, last week we talked about Ubisoft put out a thing saying, we think that blockchain and NFTs are the way of the future. Just this week, so from Wednesday to today, I saw EA said the same thing. I saw Activision Blizzard said the same thing. I saw shit. Oh, and the current story that I'm going to be talking about. Discord
Yep.
also thinks this is the way of the future. So I know it's a little confusing, but if you're forward facing, we got to do this stuff. We got to learn more stuff. It's just how the technology industries work. Discord had a tweet go out recently hinting that a cryptocurrency wallet utilizing two companies, MetaMask and Wallet Connect. I'd never heard of either of them, and I try my
Yeah.
best to still keep in the game. Um, are going to be having NFTs in Discord, which is really crazy to me. Um, so people are kind of displeased because there already is a service. There is a premium service for Discord. We're using the non-premium one. It's called Nitro. And a bunch of people are starting to unsub because they are seeing the way that this is kind of going. Now, another big note here, as long as you don't mind, man, just our entire viewership. Um, this is how I sound to people. Um, just to put this out there, um, Ethereum coins are right now one of the biggest, if not actually probably the biggest crypto coin out there. Uh, one transaction. So I want to sell one coin to you, let's say, for a real world dollar. The amount of PCs that hits on its way to get that done requires the amount of power that it takes to power a single household for one day. So, yeah. So it is really, really not green. It is very not green. And these are the beginning concerns that people are starting to have is that, yes, this, could be good, but the way that things are set up right now, everything is utilizing so many systems and so much power to run said systems, each PC, each whatever it may be, that it's really eco unfriendly.
Yeah.
Um, Now, again, we are on the ground floor here, like, for cryptocurrency, for blockchain, for NFT. Um, but people are kind of pissed off, frankly,
Yeah.
um, because it's, not great. Other people arguing that we do need a cryptocurrency. I kind of fall into that camp because eventually when the world crumbles and there is no more like United States, but we need a world currency, something
Mhm.
that is digital is the next thing that's going to happen. It's going to happen. It's just a matter of when.
When? Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. Um yeah, that's kind of what's going on with Discord. I have not seen a reply yet from them, but I saw a picture of a Discord it was one of the designers and it was an open page of a Discord and it had a picture of the wallet symbol and then like I don't know a couple of symbols next to it that I didn't really understand. Um Thoughts?
Um,
Hi.
as far as I mean, honestly, this is a very touchy subject Seriously, when we all get down
It's
to it,
just so
it really
new.
is touchy because there's a lot of one. It's so new. Two, like it's even more the Wild West than what like the .com bubble was. It is so fast as far as things starting up, tearing down, being torn down, finding out things are a scam that happened 5 days ago, and the people behind the scam are now completely disappeared with all your money, and it's really not.
And it's scary to see that so many of these major corporations are already jumping on NFTs and blockchain technology. Dude, if a major company is in on this, like doesn't that instantly like kind of put you like in like a why do you greedy bastards want in on this so badly? You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
and we still haven't come close to picking a digital currency. You know, there's so many crypto coins at this point that embedding them into our video games, into Discord, like this is real weird and real scary. And most people right now, because it is the Wild Wild West, um, don't have that much information. There is no like set thing being like, hey, this is actually here's like a sci-fi show like let's say Star Trek.
Yep.
There's always some guy who makes some like if we put it through these crystals and then it goes through the router and then it comes back, and then some other asshole standing behind him is like, it's like if you put too much air in a bag and then it pops. Like there is
Yeah.
no basic explanation for the average Joe at this point about
Right.
how blockchain, about how NFTs work. Um, frankly, when I read that one coin transaction, now again, you don't have, it's not like it just goes one coin. If I, transferred, 20, it would still use, but still an entire day's worth of power for
Oh yeah.
one transaction, household's power
Hmm.
for one, like, that is fucking eco unfriendly. Like,
Oh god, yeah.
that is not the best. Um, so
Not
I don't know.
not to mention the simple fact of how much electricity and whatever other resources were needed to generate that
Right,
coin.
right,
So,
right. Yeah, so I don't know. I guess we just have to keep watching, and as humans, as nerds, we have to try to be as diligent as we can in staying up on, I know these articles are boring, but find somebody who you find intelligent and fun, and listen to what they have to say, because dude, this shit is coming.
mm,
This shit is coming, period, in a fucking statement, whether we like it or not. This change is coming at some point. This is going to be affecting every single person on the planet,
yeah,
um, and right now is when we can basically raise our hands and go, I don't think this is a great idea.
yeah,
Um, because once everything is kind of set in stone, I can't be like, hey, I don't like the way the fucking $1 bill looks. So could somebody change that now?
yeah,
No.
yeah,
Like, um,
yeah. There's, like you said, reading about this stuff is like reading a technical manual for a jet engine. It's
right.
dry, it's unentertaining, it's very technical, but yet we need to do it.
Yeah.
Um,
We have to.
yeah,
This is not something we can skip. Frankly, I'm a little disappointed in the way net neutrality went down,
yeah,
because it was the same thing where, yes, I understand it's a little complicated and you don't think it fucking matters to you, and nothing has happened yet, but we didn't like we allowed that to pass.
mhm,
And at some point Netflix can be like, hey man, or no, let me rephrase that. Spectrum, my internet company, could start being like, "Yep, I'm going to start charging you now for your Netflix usage, for your video game usage, because we let that pass, because we weren't explaining it well enough to the people." This is how you get fucking cyber dystopias.
mhm,
Holy shit! I need my fucking tinfoil hat for this fucking particular segment. But seriously, um,
yep.
yeah, yeah,
I mean, hell,
whatever.
it's not the same topic per se, but it's the same type of description that when went out for when the UK was trying to inform people about Brexit.
Right.
A lot of people
Right.
were
And
like,
then
"Oh, this isn't going to affect me," and it's like,
doesn't matter, dum
excuse
dums.
me?
Yeah.
No, this is going to affect everybody in the fucking country. Except in this case, it's going to be a thing of it affects everybody in the fucking world.
Right. And now fucking as soon as it went through, they watched their fucking dollar value plummet.
Mhm.
Like, they used to have a quid used to be worth more than $1,
Yep.
and now it's not.
Yep.
Like, so we got to be careful here, people, especially us younger people. I'm saying that without any hyperbole. Please don't try to ask our age. Um, with our youngerness, we have to start taking this shit into like our own control, because if we let these 70-year-old fuckheads set up how our future and your kids' future is going to be, well, you're
Yep.
going to get what you get. Like, that's just all there is to it.
Especially when these 70-year-old fuckheads that are dictating how things are being set up are the ones with all the money in the first place
Right.
and only care about themselves getting more money.
Right. And legit, like, fucking, wow, seriously, I had like 10 people, boom. not a not a big overlap of people who want to hear about video games and also want to hear about fucking how the
NFTs,
economy is
blockchain.
forged.
Yeah.
Yeah, how the
Yeah.
economy works. All right, I get that.
Yeah.
I get it. Sorry about that, boys and girls. Um,
Yeah.
yeah. So, all right, well, let's move on.
Let's, before we both go down to a zero count here.
Seriously.
Before Twitch is like, hey, you gotta pay us now to stream.
Yeah, seriously. We got to start like inserting dollar bills into the monitor to keep it going like a fucking jack off machine. Jesus Christ. You know what? If I bet if Bezos had his way, he would fucking do that, you know?
Oh god, yeah.
It's
Yeah.
it's my server. Put a nickel in. Let's go. Give me
Yep.
20 more minutes of streaming time.
Yep, exactly.
Oh god. All right.
Uh all right. Forza Horizon 5.
Mhm.
A lot of people would sit there and think, "Oh, hey, it's a racing game. It's coming out." Or if it's not coming out, it's coming. It's out now. I forget which. I don't remember. I don't have an Xbox Series X or Series S, so whatever. Um, but the thing that's really interesting about it is the additional accessibility feature that they've put into it. Sign language interpreters. Yeah,
Interesting.
yeah. I've read. I like the title of the article. I'm like, sign language interpreters. What? Because I'm sitting here thinking, I'm like, okay, if you're
What does that
deaf,
mean?
like literally, there are tooltips that pop up, like with the subtext there, and then there's this person that pops up, and they start
Oh, that's so
signing,
cool.
and I'm sitting here thinking, I'm like,
Wait.
okay, so if a person's deaf, they can't hear the audio, but they can put on subtitles.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that's weird.
I don't fully understand the decision to put in the sign language interpreters, but at the same point in time, it's kind of like Microsoft has always been one to get gaming out to more people,
Yeah,
regardless
they
of what their handicap or physical disablement is.
Yeah, no, they're
So
huge in the accessibility.
yeah, so for the simple fact of them adding in these sign language interpreters, both in American Sign Language and British Sign Language, by the way. So,
is that different?
yes.
I thought ALS was kind of.
There's
universal.
apparently a difference. Yeah, I didn't know that either, but it's just like, okay, there's a difference.
Fucking, you got to get in the lift, mate.
Yeah.
Why was the Australian when I said that?
Don't know.
All right. Well.
Maybe easier to comprehend than sign than reading. That's entirely possible.
Yeah, I guess
So,
that is true.
Actually, come to think of it, it could be a thing of, maybe for some people it's easier to interpret or to read someone who is signing because maybe they don't read that fast, and
Sure.
text could be going by very quickly on the screen, whereas signing
Or a big brick.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So it's very interesting to see that they're taking the step to, and it's not like a cartoon person's doing it. It's an actual person that they've had do all this. So it's like, okay, that's
Dude,
actually
that's
really
got
cool.
and that means it's a video file, so that means
Yep.
that's gotta be a bunch of space too, like,
Hmm.
you know what I'm saying, on the disk. Wow,
Yeah.
that's fucking interesting.
Yeah.
Wow. Good stuff. Good stuff, Microsoft. Like, it's such a weird thing to like be like, you know.
Yeah.
Well, I used to date. Well, I went out with this girl who was deaf a couple times when I was living in Binghamton. Um, she didn't teach me that much, but I know some ALS, but I also know how to spell a couple of things.
Hmm.
But the only thing now here comes wait for it. Here's the Queen turnaround. The only real thing I really remember how to spell is BLOW E. There we go. I
Shocking.
remember how to spell. Yeah. Like, I
Shocking
thought it was
there.
funny because I was like punk rock at the time, and I was like, now I could like sign language blow me to some random person, like blow me. Um, so
Next thing you know,
yeah.
that random person knows American Sign Language. They're like, what?
Well, see, that's the thing is, ALS is more about words
Mhm.
than it is about spelling. As a matter of
Yeah.
fact, usually you never spell.
Yeah.
That's another reason why I was like, all right, I'll learn some shit. And my numbers sync getting lower. Wow, dude. Hey, I learned a fucking language for a person. Like, come on.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, she was very cool too.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, yeah, that's pretty great. That is honestly pretty great. I gotta say.
Yeah.
Please tell me there's not somebody who's deaf in the chat. Like, you were like reading furiously. I was like, ah, shit. And Alex Quino gets canceled.
No, no credit. I missed a couple of lines that Kratos put in here. How basically it's easier to like see someone signing versus reading text
Yeah,
because that goes a lot faster. Because
yes.
I mean, just thinking about how fast
Short
we're
cut.
talking versus if this was all being written out and then reading
Right,
it. So
right.
yeah.
And it's more it's like kanji,
Hmm.
where like it's more in context than it is like reading a sentence where you would read every single word. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. Yep.
Um, that's a easier way to explain that. Wow, we are fucking really just the knowledge douchebag show today. Um,
Hey, we haven't like we already got rid of all the bummer drummer stuff,
yep, which is
and
great.
we kind of hit on the porn and chatterbait stuff already. So what else do we have left?
I don't know, a deep dark secret from Alex Quino's sexual past, I guess. It's not really a deep dark secret. Like I said that, like I like hid her in the basement. I did. Okay, now unexpectedly my internet has gone down. Click. All right.
Ugh.
So do we want want to talk about something else that's kind of silly? What?
You were just like very slowly progressing there. It's like, do
I
we?
was thinking about. I was. Yeah, I wasn't thinking about anything else. I will be taking no more further questions at this time. Thank you. Um, do we talk about something a little silly since we're kind of getting the giggles?
Why not?
Sure. Um, so, did you see this Dark Souls mod that adds Halo
Damn
guns?
you! Damn you! I was gonna do that next.
Nice.
Fuck.
Um, so the modding community has made a Dark Souls mod,
Hmm.
adding in the original guns from the original Halo,
Yep.
and obviously still keeps the third-person camera. From what I read, there is over 100 new animations for it,
Oh
which
yeah.
is cool. Like the reloading, the firing, how the recoil reacts, shit like that.
Mhm.
Um, and it apparently plays pretty good so far,
Yeah.
which is great. Like that's now this is cool. Go ahead.
The one thing I will say though is you have to do some other alterations if you want to play it online. Because if you just install the mod and then go online, you're connecting to official Bandai Namco Dark Souls servers, and they will detect the difference in code and be like, "Boom! There's an offense against you. That's you're one of two. Uh, so
Because they
yeah,
detect it as a cheat, basically.
yeah, they do.
Uh,
So you have to like change where you're connecting to when you do multiplayer of that. By the way, I've already actually downloaded that mod, and
oh, did you
I
really?
do plan on streaming it.
Hmm.
Because there was also in the article that I've found of it at least, a link to a 30-minute YouTube video detailing out everything that he's changed. And it's not just, oh hey, I put in the original Halo weapons and custom animations for reloading, firing, yada yada, all of that. He also added in like more traditional Dark Souls weapons and different types of ammo for like the bow, the crossbow, things like that. He also, in my opinion, did one of the best things possible for the PvP community in Dark Souls.
Mhm.
The point down animation and the like, hey, come at me, bro,
Yeah.
animation, they are parryable. So
Oh,
if someone
cool.
does it, you can just run up and be like, parry, and then
That's cool.
instantly riposte them. And it's
That's
like,
cool.
yes! So it's one of the things of it. And apparently in his Discord server, they hold weekly like tournaments or PvP matches, things like that. So it's
Nice.
like, oh, this might be something fun to do.
Yeah, that's actually pretty fucking top, to be honest with you.
And
Um,
like this is version 2 of this mod as well, by the way.
yeah, I saw that.
The first version there were only 3 PvP matches or 3 PvP maps. This there are it was either 13 or 16, I forget which.
No
And
way, damn.
one of them is like from the original Halo. You remember how big uh Blood Gulch was it? The one that
Yeah,
had the 2 forts at the end. You know how
yep,
big that one was?
yeah.
Okay. Now imagine that, except there's like hills, caves, all sorts of stuff in the middle as well, and then also make it more square-like. So it's now in both directions as far as that size.
Oh, so oh, so you take it and then flip it horizontally as well.
Yes.
Oh, cool,
So
cool,
he made a whole custom island, and
nice.
it's like, yeah, if you do play this one, look to be playing 16 versus 16.
Wow,
And
damn.
it's like, holy shit.
Yeah, that's kind of badass.
Yeah,
That is kind of badass.
yeah,
And again, shows the fucking badassness of the modding community.
yep.
You know?
Uh,
Yeah,
the
that's fantastic.
the one thing I will say though is it wasn't just, oh hey, he had someone help him do the animations. It was he learned how to
To
do
do it.
the animations.
Ugh, good lord,
So yeah,
rigging is crazy hard too.
yeah.
Wow.
And apparently some of the code for doing the animations in Dark Souls, there's no tutorial on it at all. It's just, okay, this variable connects to this variable, connects to this variable, connects to this one, execute the, and it's just like, what does half of this shit mean? And it's
Yeah.
all just trial and error. And it's like, holy fuck.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Yeah, yeah. But damn you, I was gonna do that one next.
I love it when that happens, except for when it happens to me. Like,
Yeah,
then I'm
yeah,
like, oh. Uh, all right. Well, would you like to go next?
sure. Oh, the one final thing I will say is the original 13 guns from Halo, they are
Mhm.
all in the game, and there is one in each land, and he's not saying where.
Oh,
The,
cool.
the first one you can find before even leaving the Undead Asylum, though. He did hint that. And it's
Oh,
like,
cool.
okay, that's interesting. Is that?
Man, I'd be pissed off if the first thing I found was like the fucking Needler. Although Gen 1 Needler was okay, I
Yeah,
guess.
and he actually put a lot of work into the needler because, as far as like the needles actually sticking in things,
Right.
he mentioned that he put a lot of effort into that, and it might not be something the average person realizes and sees, but it's like or the average Dark Souls person. If
Sure.
if they're an average Halo person, they would recognize that and be like, "Oh, dude, that's awesome!"
Yeah.
So it's like,
Yeah.
okay, yeah, mad props on that.
Yeah, for sure. Because you can literally get a needle to stick in a foot or a head all the way up the body, like in any part, which is, on a technical perspective, very difficult and cool.
Yes, yes. Um, but yeah. Continuing on in Halo, though, Halo Infinite. We all know their battle passes do not expire, which is kind of cool. Um, but they have teased out what the theme, I guess, of the first battle pass is, which is Heroes of Reach. So the armor and things like that you can unlock and get are relating to the core armor of Halo Reach. And when I say core armor, I mean the or armor core. Sorry. When I say that, I'm talking about like the generic pieces of armor that all the other little bits add on, like stick on to. So you'll be able to uh, get those core pieces of armor from Halo Reach, and then be able to unlock them, which is pretty cool that they're kind of paying homage to it in a way. And you will be able to get those, which is seemingly very cool. Basically, touching on the simple fact of we all know that the battle passes in Halo Infinite don't expire.
Yeah.
They've teased out the theme for season 1 being Heroes of Reach.
Yep.
So like the core armor from Reach, you'll
Yep.
be able to get that through unlocking things on the battle pass. So
Yep.
that will definitely be a cool thing, and I'm looking forward to that.
I'm honestly everything I've read so far is making me pretty excited. I'm still most excited about the single player.
Mhm.
Um but you know, it's free for the multiplayer, so what the fuck? Like I'm
Oh yeah,
in for whatever.
yeah, yeah.
Um
I just
so
wish that single player was going to be, or not single player, campaign was going to be multiplayer at launch.
yeah, me too. I
But
wish it wasn't 2 months out, but
yeah,
it is what it is.
but
I
I
mean,
mean,
to be frank, it's going to be on Game Pass, obviously,
mm,
and I probably could even wait. Like, I'm not so frothing at the mouth that I need to play that game day one on the campaign. So I could theoretically wait
yeah, yeah.
and just wait until the co-op campaign came out and then run it with some buddies.
Plus the simple fact of being able to just have fun in the multiplayer
Yeah,
day one until the multiplayer campaign comes out. I mean,
right.
there's still that too, because
Yeah,
and yes, we won't be able to do all the fun custom uh matches that we used to be able to do initially.
right.
Forge is coming. It's like season 3, I think, is what they said.
Yeah,
So we will eventually be able to do it, just not right away. But even then, with how much is going to be in there, as far as like new maps or and all sorts of fun stuff like that, there's plenty to keep people entertained.
yeah, I agree. Yeah. Speaking of multiplayer, would you like to talk some Among Us?
No, of course not.
I don't know. Well,
yeah,
gonna be a boring show at this rate.
yeah. I mean, well, we've talked on NFTs, so
That's true. Yeah, it was literally sank and like just fucking. Um,
oh well.
God damn it! Hey, people do not want to be educated. They show up for laughs. All right. Well, mental note: we'll fucking make a more boring show for that shit.
yeah.
Uh, so, Among Us, we all know, blew up huge during the quarantine,
Mhm.
especially the fall of last year.
Yep.
It was hugely popular, even though the game launched in 2018. Um, but so they are launching a new. I don't. I didn't read if it's a mode. I mean, it's new knobs that you can turn when you want to set up your games.
Mhm.
Uh, and they add classes now, four specifically. The shapeshifter, the scientist, the engineer, and the guardian angel class. The shapeshifter is the only hey is the only one that is for an imposter class. So if you are an imposter, you can be a shapeshifter, and basically the shapeshifter will allow you to do a scan as if you are a human. So you can get away without, getting the scan and then being scanned and be like, oh fuck, I'm doing. Um, The scientist, which is kind of interesting, he can check on the um, humans, but like, what's the word I'm looking for here? Uh, what is it when you scan somebody's life? You know, your heartbeat
Uh,
and your
biometrics.
yes, and he can do that from anywhere on the map. So he can tell without finding a dead body. He can literally see, oh, Rich got killed. One of us is dead. Without having to find the body, which is kind of a cool mechanic. Um, there wasn't any notice if he can call an emergency meeting from anywhere. Um, but even having that information, like, one of us is dead is, kind of helpful. The engineer is interesting. He is a human who can utilize the vent system, just like the imposters,
Hmm.
which is a little crazy and definitely would make things a little more confusing because then you could have a dude pop out of a fucking vent and somebody runs to the thing and hits the emergency button and is like, I saw that dude come out of a vent. It's like, dude, I'm an engineer. You know what I'm saying? Like, that throws a monkey
Yeah.
wrench into venting,
Yeah.
which is interesting. And the guardian angel, which is interesting, if the guardian angel gets murdered, he can grant a one-time hit shield to another living player. So if I gave it to you and you were going to be killed by an imposter, it would ding around you, but you wouldn't be murdered, but you would certainly know that one of those dudes was an imposter.
Interesting. Interesting.
Yep. And you can mix and match them any way
Hmm.
you want. So there could be some fun modes that come out of that, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely can see potentially doing some co-op nights there of that,
Hmm.
just
I,
to
I
play
check it
around with
out.
things. Yeah.
Sure. I mean, I've already got it. I think everyone on the internet has it at this point. Um,
Considering worst case scenario, they could play just from their phone and it's free there.
Yeah,
So
it's $2 or something. It's $3, I
yeah.
think,
Yeah.
um, on Steam or whatever.
Yep.
But yeah, I thought that was cool. And I'm sure the communities will end up making modes that are like super crazy, like one imposter and everyone else is an engineer.
Yeah.
So everyone could vent,
Yeah.
or everyone's like. There's a lot of permutations that you can get out of that, which is pretty sweet.
Mhm. Yeah. Alrighty. Okay. So Elden Ring, the newest Dark Souls esque kind of game that's to be coming out in February, I believe is what the current release date of it is.
Yep.
Um, a very typical sales plug on this one as far as like specs that it will definitely be able to do on PC. And it's like I'm sitting here reading the article, I'm just like, definitely be able to do on PC, yet you don't even announce what the minimum tech specs yeah, minimum requirements are for PC yet. And like they've announced, oh, it can definitely do 60 FPS, 4K resolution, supports ray tracing, HDR, all on PC. And it's like, cool. How about minimum requirements? Because if it's supposed to be doing all of that, I'm looking at my PC from 6 years ago, and I'm like, I guarantee you, it won't be doing all of that.
No, that was definitely for the PC Master Race.
Not even PC Master Race, just like the uber elite
Right.
PC people.
Right.
The people that sit there and be like, oh, I've only got a GTX 3200. I need a GTX 3210.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, dude, what the hell? Um,
Um,
so yeah, it's interesting that it's very much a marketing team. This is what our game can do, and it's like, cool. What are you running that on first?
I mean, something that is gas powered, basically.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah. I think it's cool. Ray tracing is awesome.
Yeah.
That's pretty dope.
Mhm.
Um, you know, other than my graphics card, I've got a fucking pretty monster fucking rig at this point. Actually, as a matter of fact, they sent out the specs for Modern Warfare for the next one, and I saw that recommended was still lower than my GPU at this point. And I was like, all right, I'm safe for a while. Good stuff.
Yeah.
Um, but back to Elden Ring. Um, yeah, this definitely feels more like a marketing, back of
Yeah.
the box kind of blurbs. But did you see the gameplay trailer? They put out a 15-minute gameplay trailer 2 days
Yep.
ago. I watched it. Um, I am much more interested now.
Okay.
Uh, it literally looks like you take Dark Souls, you take fucking open world Zelda kind of a thing, and kind of smoosh them together.
Yep.
There is a much heavier focus on magic this time, which is
Ooh.
kind of very different for them.
Yeah.
They show a shit ton of spells during that demo, both from the mobs and from human players. It's really cool, bro.
That
Um,
that really makes me wonder because ever since Dark Souls 1 came out, they knew magic was overpowered and have been like, crank it down. Dark
yep,
Souls 2 comes out. Okay, it's still
right,
really powerful. Crank it down again.
right.
And it's like, hmm. So the fact that it's very magic heavy, it's like, oh, what
It,
did they like balance it right or something, or what's going
I'm
on?
assuming, well, they
Balance it.
balanced it. They balanced it. Again, you know what the good thing is. Again, balance is easy to fix. That's an
Yeah,
Excel can change those numbers. No big
yeah.
deal. But I swear to you, I had almost like I like Dark Souls. I really do. But I kind of come from Demon Souls, and for me, it's like all right, Demon Souls for me, and then Dark Souls, and then it got to actually no, then three, then two, and a lot of dudes in armor in two. Um, I never played Sekiro, and I never played what was the other one?
Bloodborne.
Bloodborne. That was because I don't have PlayStation.
Yeah,
I definitely would have played fucking
it's
Bloodborne.
fun. It really is.
Yeah, I mean, dude, it looked and like the Castlevania-esque, like Cthulhu, like Eldritch gods,
Mhm.
big monstery
Yeah,
things. I'm like, fuck yeah, dude.
yeah.
One day, hopefully, when Sony isn't allergic to money and they decide to release an
It'll
IP,
just be, yeah, exactly.
like I will pick that up. But after watching that 15-minute gameplay trailer, fucking A, dude, I'll be getting Elden Rings day one.
Cool, cool.
It really looks super great. It's not even so much like visually. I think it visually looks, the same as Dark Souls 3, maybe a little bit better. Um, but just the way that you know what it looked like to me, this is just how I kind of was like watching it, and I was like, man, it feels more like a single player dark D&D campaign where you're just one guy and you're in this hostile land, but you can go anywhere. Like
Mhm.
there was still restrictions in the old formula, you know what I'm saying? There's
Yeah,
branching paths, sure, but they mostly loop around to these choke points kind of thing.
yeah.
um, this looks like Breath of the Wild level of like you're just out there, bro. And
Mhm.
they showed the map shortly, and fucking A, that was a big map. It's like they just took all those other maps and went and then just spread it thin the way that like a Skyrim map is. Um, and there's mounted combat. There's still invading and PV or co-op. What?
I will say there probably is. I will say that. But I will also say one tidbit of knowledge I do know from previous announcements and things like that and features that they've said about the game is that even in single player, you can effectively collect the souls of fallen enemies
Yep, they
and
showed that
summon
too.
them in.
Yep, they showed that too.
So,
Um, they showed like actually that was one of the talking points, and he was saying that like so you can like fell an enemy and then summon, and he was like for multiple encounters you can do this, and they come out as white, and there was like an orc, two goblins, and let's call it a kobold that he called out. Also later on, there was one where he was in combat with another dude, and four gigantic skeletons came out and had their swords like upraised and all at the same time hit the enemy. It was dope looking, man.
wow.
Yeah, I was kind of like, eh, oh, fine, I'll probably pick it up, whatever. Now I'm like, fuck yeah, dude, that looks awesome. Like now I don't know if this was because of the build they used or whatever. They showed two boss monster fights. The designs look great. Fantastic, very unique and different. But there wasn't even any health bars being displayed. You know, the traditional
Hmm.
Dark Souls, there's that big ass red fucking health bar.
Yeah.
Nothing like that on screen. Which makes it again feel more organic and like living as opposed to video gamey, you know, to for lack of a better term.
Right.
Um,
That makes me wonder. What, like you mentioned, was that the build that they were using?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Frankly, I hope that it's, you know, because dude, here's the thing: do we really need life bars in a game like that, or do we just go? I guess I just keep swinging until it drops down dead.
Very true. Very true.
You know, and
Um.
frankly, sometimes those fucking life bars piss me off because then you get down to this and then you fucking die, and you're like, God damn it! Like that
Yep.
makes it worse. You
Yep.
know?
Exactly. Exactly. Now, I will say, if it's like health bars, like in Sekiro, where it wasn't just okay, you chip down the health bar and then obviously they're dead. A lot of times in Sekiro, it was a thing of you chip down the health bar and then you had to do a finisher,
Right.
which then kicked in on, like, it removed one of their marks of a health bar, and then they had a whole nother health bar. You rinse, repeat, et cetera, et cetera. So for that, I would say yes, health bars are a good thing. But if it's more traditional Dark Souls, where it's just like beat it until it falls over dead,
Right.
yeah, I would agree with you. Health bars, are they really
Why?
needed?
Yeah,
So
why?
yeah,
If we're supposed to be living in this immersive world, health bars gamify the entire thing.
yeah.
There's no reason to have it. I hate when I didn't like the angle attack idea either. Not a big fan of that because or the charging enemy, like, oh, here he turns all red and then there's a big fucking kanji above this dude's head. I just it just really takes me out of the immersion when there's these big stupid icons over people's heads and shit. Like I would rather it be like I think that that's why I like Demon Souls so much. Demon Souls was like, fuck you, dude. Like you get nothing. Here's maybe a health bar, but like you got Zippo. It was just try to figure this just try to live, you know?
Mhm.
And I appreciate that. So I hope that that's the case at the end of the day for Elden Rings. But I'm just so fucking happy that now I'm actually really excited about this game.
Yeah.
Um, because I genuinely I still haven't even played. So I was actually thinking I don't know if I'm actually going to do it or not. Um, I haven't played through any of the DLC from Dark Souls 3.
Mm.
So I might do that just for shits and giggles. I mean, that game goes on sale all the time. The DLC goes on sale all the time. Um, yeah, that might have to get done. Just kind of get me back into that, like, because there is a pacing and a rhythm to that combat, you
Yeah.
know.
Oh yeah.
Um, so I don't know. Really look cool. I didn't even see many dudes with a shield
Mm.
as the main character. It looks way more attacky. As a matter of fact, I saw a couple dudes dual wielding. I saw there was one bow where like he shot a dude in the back and like he falls over and then he fucking stabs him on the ground. So there is like a stealth element to it, which I don't
Mm.
particularly love, but um yeah, I don't know, man. Looks fucking cool. I if you're still out there and you're listening, highly suggest if you're interested in Dark Souls and you haven't watched that gameplay trailer that just came out for Elden Ring, go watch it. It's totally worth it. 15 minutes, dude. It's 15 minutes. Totally worth.
Cool. I'll definitely have to give it a look
Yeah.
because I haven't seen it. And I'm already very interested in the game to start with. So it's like, yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. Uh Maximilian does a pretty good breakdown of it too. Yeah, it's not the best, but it's
okay,
good. But he was watching it live too. Um, the only thing that kind of sucks is Max got an early build, uh, so he's gonna have like a early opinions video coming out soon.
okay,
As soon as they release him from the NDA.
Yeah.
So there will be more streamers and YouTubers who also got that opportunity. So we will be seeing more stuff. I almost at this point, I don't even know if I want to watch it because I was so like kind of, and now I'm like, oh
Oh yeah. Yeah.
yeah, Dark Zelda, yeah. Now I kind of don't want to know shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm
Yep.
like, I kind of want to just figure this shit out on my own.
Yeah. See, I mean, that's kind of the mentality that I had as far as with the gameplay trailer. I'm like, I know I want to get the game. I know I'm going to play it. Do I want to just go on like complete and total blackout as far as information coming in, like gameplay information, or do I want to just like peek under the cover a little bit and be like, oh,
That
okay,
that is what it is. It is it didn't ruin anything. It just highlights some stuff. After this point, anything they put out, yeah, I'm on full media blackout. But this one, I 100% think if you are interested, you should watch it.
okay,
Because it doesn't wreck anything. Plus, seriously, with how big it is, that dude, this is gonna have like a whole Skyrim water cooler moments out the
oh god, yeah,
fucking waz
yeah.
on fucking, the first week even, when everyone's just like, guess we're just figuring this shit out. Like,
I
um,
can already see when it comes to like if we want to do some co-op of it. Hey, I found this cool thing over here. Wait, where? Huh?
right. Um, the other thing that I would like to take note of real quickly is, um, man, I fucking hope everything just works day
Yeah.
one. I hope it does not have a choppy launch. I hope that everything goes silky smooth because the last couple of years, all these big titles have come out to bad launches
Yep.
that ruin. Like, look at this Cyberpunk. There, I'm just picking
Oh
one
god,
off
yeah.
the top of my head.
Yep.
Like, it like they still sold like a gajillion fucking copies, but everyone was like, "Boo!" Dead game. And they've been working on that shit for, whatever, like a year and a half now,
Yep.
on a game that probably at this point, I'm still just going to go, whatever, I'll get you at the game of the year edition.
Yeah.
Like, so I really hope that this goes smooth
It.
for them and for all of us, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. And the one thing I will say that didn't help Cyberpunk was the simple fact of they came out time after time after time after time after time after like a what year and a half sitting here saying, "Oh, hey, we have to delay it. We have to delay it again and again." And then it finally came out in the state that it was, and it's like,
Right.
why did we
We
pay for
gave you a
this?
year and a half and this is still
Yeah,
cooked.
and even then, like a year and a half, 2 years later, they finally came out and said, "Oh yeah, now it's in a finished state," and it's like,
No, acceptable was the word
or
they
or
used.
yeah, I'm sorry, acceptable state, and it's like, so what was it when you guys released it?
Yeah,
If it wasn't acceptable until now, what was it back then?
right. Um, and
Ugh.
I do have um I do have faith in that team, in that studio,
Mhm.
in their publishing. Man, I just hope it's good. I hope
Yeah.
that like it's not all fucked up.
Mm.
And whenever you do open world, man, you are opening a can of fucking worms.
Oh god,
That
yeah.
is like that is literally saying, "Yeah, we're Bethesda. Oh, everything's all fucked up." Like,
Yeah.
so you just got to be really careful.
Especially considering how for open world you can't there's no way you can account for every
Mhm.
single possible combination of X interacting with Y.
Yep,
There is no way to do
yep. Um, and that is because, and especially with a title like Dark Souls, it's so tightly scripted
it. Mhm.
and designed level wise, and like it's this is a big jump,
Yeah.
moving from that, which is a very like, to go back to that D&D analogy, taking a pre-written, printed, published script, here is a game scenario that you can run, as opposed to this, which seems more like me, Alex Quino, just being like, all right, you guys are in a pub, what do you want to start doing? You know what I'm saying? There's a lot more that can go off the rails that way.
Yep.
um,
Exactly.
so yeah, I'm hoping for the best now. Like,
Mhm.
it's all we can do.
Yep.
Was that you or me?
That was me.
Okay. Okay. Because well, technically, that was also me because the top thing on the first thing that I wrote down was the Elden Ring gameplay trailer. So you got another one?
Sure, sure. Um, Nintendo, after having received massive backlash for their online services for the N64 and Sega, they
Teaching
had
time.
yeah, they have put forth effort to improve both of those, and have also said that they are going to be making sure whenever they release more services and online services in the future, they will make sure that they are actually living up to proper expectations as opposed to just, hey, this works, boom, shove it out the window. Because
Yay!
I
Thank
mean,
God. So,
yeah,
so they're going to do the job that they're actually supposed to do now.
yeah. Apparently,
Cool.
that's kind of the way it sounds. Um, So yeah, I mean, I read this. I'm like, you've got to be kidding me! You should have done this from the get go, not just been like,
Yeah.
hey, look, we're emulating this on the Switch now. Okay, throw it out the window. Yay, we got more money. And it's like, God, guys, jeez.
That's like me selling like I'm a notebook like company and I sell notebooks, like paper notebooks.
Mhm.
And the first fucking batch that I send out is like half written in and then going, "Oh, well the next fucking notebook that we're send out, it'll actually all be blank pages." It's like, "Yeah, no shit, asshole." Like that should have been how it was in the beginning. Fucking morons. Like
Oh man, I just realized. Okay, yeah, the next batch that you send out for your notebooks will be all blank pages,
mhm.
but it's all gonna be black paper. So it's like writing on, huh?
or or they can only be written on with special invisible ink pens. It's like,
Yeah,
what the fuck? This is worthless.
yeah.
Like, you ever see that? You ever watch Gravity Falls, the
Oh
show?
hell yeah,
Oh,
hell
you're
yeah.
such a good man. You're such a good man. You know that part where when he looks at it, he goes, "Wow, this is worthless." It's just that piece of paper. That is
No,
literally
it's
what.
less than worthless.
Yeah, exactly. Like, god damn.
Yeah.
Like,
Yep. Exactly.
yeah, that is. Yeah. And by the way, nice press release. Like you didn't even like maybe try to soften the blow by being like, "Hey, we're gonna give everybody a free month in, in this month or next month." You know,
Nope.
like,
Nope. Apparently
nope,
not.
nope, not Nintendo. They're fucking counting their fucking dragon's hoard of coin, and they can't be fucking
Hmm.
bothered.
Yep.
Fucking shysters.
The one thing I will say that uh, people are hoping that they actually do release is a Game Boy and Game Boy Advance online.
Sure.
Because I mean, realistically, those systems at this point are I don't know if they can be played on the 3DS or not.
What do you mean?
Like just if people have
GB?
those, yeah, like if people have those cartridges, can they just be played on those? Okay,
Nope.
so those are effectively consoles that are dead now.
Right.
So unless Nintendo comes out and is like, "Hey, look, we're going to release this on the Switch as a online service," no one's going to be able to play those, which means people are going to resort to downloading ROMs and pirating and like that.
Right.
And for Nintendo, considering as soon as they find sites that are allowing people to download them, they shut them down as fast as they can. It's like,
Yep.
this is kind of in your best interest to get a GBA thing out there.
Speaking of this, and I'm just going to bring this up. This wasn't actually written down, but I read an article the other day that I shouldn't have read
Oh
because it
boy.
saddened me very deeply. Apparently now, as far as the keepers of video game history are concerned, the GameCube, the PlayStation 2, and the original Xbox are now officially old enough to be classified as
As
retro.
retro. Yep.
Oh my god, I was like, "Beep." Just like literally a single tear rolled down. I was the sad Native American guy on the side of the highway when like
Yep.
that wad of paper hits it. Just, beep. Oh my god, dude. That
Yep.
means that I am way more than retro. I am now, I guess, old school. Like I am
No,
I
no,
I should be put in a home with at my age as a gamer.
no. See, I would say old school would be like just before retro, and like I guess at this point you and I would be antique.
Right. Fossils, like, is what we would be.
Yeah,
Like, we would
What does
be
that make
discussing.
me?
It would make you just barely older than garbage, is what it would
yeah,
make you.
yeah.
Just like me. I mean, frankly. Like, God damn, dude. Like, it sucks to be like, oh man, PlayStation 2, man, that was a hype ass genre. Oh crap. Like, like that, and there was a dude, I don't even remember where I read it, but like the guy who, like, the clickbait ass title in front of like the what looked like a stock image that somebody just photoshopped like the three consoles in front of, the guy had a lab coat on behind it, and I was like, oh, it's like somebody's like at my autopsy going, so old. So, you know what? He's glad he's dead at this point. I'm like, God damn,
Ouch.
savage.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, good God. Yeah. Um,
For Metroid again. Yeah. Oh yeah, exactly. As far as like getting Game Boy and Game Boy Advance on Nintendo Switch, Metroid Dread came out recently. Metroid Fusion.
yes.
I've honestly never played. I've never played Metroid Fusion, Metroid Two. I mean,
Oh,
I'd love to
Return of
play
Samus.
them. Yeah, I'd love to
Yeah.
play them. And
Fusion's my favorite one of all time.
really,
I know
really,
I know Super is very, very good, and I've beaten it myself. I played it a ton, but Fusion's my favorite one. That's why I love the fact that Dread is a direct sequel. That
yeah.
that makes me so happy. Um,
Well, the nice thing with the 2D Metroids
mhm.
is that's one timeline.
Right,
The 3Ds are its own timeline, kind of thing. So they're effectively two different timelines for the same franchise,
right.
which is kind
Slightly
of
less, slightly less than fucking Zelda. That's nice. Like,
yeah.
it's a little more cohesive.
Yeah, considering Zelda, I mean, technically it's one timeline, but it's like,
No, it's
oh,
not.
okay, if you believe this happened, then it shunts off into this timeline, and
If the
if not,
hero
it's
died, it goes
this.
here. If the hero
Yeah,
won, if the hero becomes a kid.
it's like, oh my god, what the
I
hell?
not to be a big nerd, but hey, this is my show, and
I
like
was gonna
that's
say
all
that's
I
what the
talk
show
about.
is all about,
Yeah.
being a big video
Um,
game nerd.
there is actually two types of Zelda fans: one that believe in a linear timeline, and one that believe in a split timeline, called linearist and splittist. I actually fall under a splittist because there's no other way you can make that fucking timeline make sense in any scope of the imagination. Now,
Oh yeah,
there are several of them that in that split of the three, because it basically becomes like a pitchfork. There's a couple that you could argue should go here or there, but overall, I definitely think it's a splittist timeline. But
yeah, yeah.
that's just me.
I,
Uh,
I just believe as far as the Zelda timeline, is the game fun or not?
yes.
That's my breakdown of where it falls in the Zelda timeline. Is it
And
fun?
which
No. Okay, fine. Throw it in the trash.
right, and some of them are not fun. Some of them
No,
are generic
no.
garbage.
Yeah.
Um, so I don't want to end on this one, so I'm going to do it real quick.
Okay.
I forgot I had one more drummer. He's just floating around like a fucking turd in a public toilet.
Oh,
Um, did you hear? I know you don't really listen to hip hop, right?
not really.
Okay. Um, Travis Scott is a big rapper.
Yeah, I do watch the
He
news.
okay. Okay, so you heard what happened on Saturday
Yeah,
that he had a show in South Carolina, um
Texas.
Texas. Wait, is that right? Yeah.
Yes,
Yes.
it was in Houston,
Texas.
Texas.
Yep. And 8 people died during the show due to people just pushing.
Hmm.
I forget what the term they used.
Crowd
But
rush.
what crowd rush, yes. Um So 8 people died during his show, which is super fucked up. But again, man, m- dominoes as an example. You push one, it's going to go down the line, and that's just how physics works. So super fucked up, super tragic, whatever. Um, so Fortnite removed all his skins. He had skins that came in last year that you could play as Travis Scott. They removed all his skins
Yeah.
as like a condolence to the tragedy, um, which is very considerate of them
Oh
and
yeah.
timely.
Mhm.
Like, and without anyone having to raise their hands going, "Hey, this is kind of fucked up." Like, you know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
Um, so at least that's kind of cool of Epic for them to do. And you know, when something like that happens, like it's like there's there's no one person to blame. There's no
Hmm.
like it's just fucking a tragedy, you know, like it's just like an accident. Like
Yeah.
um so I don't know, I thought that was nice of them. I don't know, they didn't say if you had purchased the skin, if it was still going to be available, or if they literally were removing it completely from the title.
Mm.
But I know that you cannot no longer you cannot buy any of those skins. I think there was four of them.
Okay.
Um, so you know, like I guess that's cool. I almost wish that they had made one. I don't know, like could you make one with like a black armband or something like where like that to like recognize what happened, but is that like in bad taste? Because then you're still technically kind of making money off of it, you know, allowing it, you know?
Um, I guess the way you could do it in that case would be have a skin that people could purchase, but have it be a thing of all the
The money,
proceeds for purchasing of that skin goes to
the families.
the families.
Yeah, that would actually be really cool.
Yeah.
That would be really cool. And you know, yeah, no, that would be really cool. That's a good idea.
Because I mean,
Uh,
because game companies have done that in the past,
oh yeah.
as far as
Um,
specials and things. So
yeah. We in the Rainbow Six community had a guy named Icy Cat who was um a content producer for the game. He was a YouTuber, and he committed suicide. And they made his icon go free for everyone in the game. And then they took and made another one that was basically a suicide awareness icon that you could hang on yours. And all the money went to foundations that were specifically built to help people to prevent suicide.
good.
You know, yeah,
Yeah.
that's nice. Like, you know, that's companies like actually, and that was Ubisoft,
Yeah.
and they fucking suck. Like, you know, so like,
They're one
um,
of the big suck it companies right now.
right. And so
Yeah.
it's always nice to see when companies at least try to do something like
Hmm.
positive.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, I don't know. Just wanted to mention it.
Okay. Cool. Cool.
Not the time to
Um.
say cool, cool.
Well, yeah, yeah. I know what you mean. You know what I mean.
I do.
Alrighty. I've got two left. One
I
of which is
got
a
two.
leftover from last week, so I don't fully remember everything about it, but we can touch on it at the very least.
Okay.
But as we all know, November 7th was just 2 days ago. Uh, in some of the gaming community, more widely known as N7 Day, kind of tribute to Mass Effect. Uh, well, they came out and had an announcement saying, "Hey, we officially are working on another Mass Effect game," and released what appears to be a like box art kind of cover poster of the uh, in the tweet that they showed.
Was it the Normandy in the ship?
No, no, it was not.
Oh, okay. Crazy.
It because I mean, just looking at it, it's like that is not the Normandy. That is some
Okay.
other ship.
Okay.
Um, the weird part is though, just looking at the image, it's like, what's going on here? Because there's the ship. There looks to be four people leaving the ship and heading towards like some crater, and there's a body on the ground over by the crater. People are already speculating, having zoomed in like insanely far. Could that be a Geth body from the first Mass Effect, the Geth?
Well, it wasn't even just that, it was the
The
impact.
shape of the crater too. Yes, it
Yes.
was very reminiscent of the
Very
face of one of the Geth.
Legion.
Yeah, Legion. Uh, so it's like, could they
Which, by
be
the way,
hinting at?
I like Legion. I thought he was fun.
Okay. Could they be hinting that they're going to be making a comeback in this next Mass Effect installment?
Yeah,
I don't know. Nobody knows. They haven't said anything. So it's like, okay,
it's a
what?
good teaser image.
Yes, it definitely is a
It's
very good teaser
very good
image.
because it got the entire internet like,
Oh,
oh,
yeah, yeah.
like, all right, let's maybe break this down a little bit. Let's have a conversation. Um, I like the idea that the Geth, because the Geth, other than Legion, because you turned him basically to the side of good, I guess. Um, their lore is that they were actually like evil. So I like the idea of like maybe there's like a new sect of the Geth that are resurging and they're going to be the big bad this time. I like that idea.
Interesting. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, because I mean, I've only played the first one, and from what I remember, and this was like back when the first one was the only one and like brand new still.
2006.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was.
Um, no, yeah, somewhere back in there. Um, but it was a thing of um, all I can really remember of the Geth weren't they effectively like the grunts that did the work of the Reavers? I think it was the big bad of the first one, wasn't it? The
Yeah,
Reavers.
yeah, but in two is when Legion was introduced, the
Ah,
the
okay.
the dude
Yeah,
Legion. Um and basically in that one, like he kind of comes around to the idea of like, dude, the Reavers are gonna fucking kill everything and you're just kind of like helping this, and then he goes, oh yeah, that's not great. And you're like, yeah, duh. Um so uh now they did portray Legion, because he was kind of the only one that was like talkable. Like you could only talk to him. Everyone else was either like mobs or whatever.
okay.
Um, so he seemed like an anomaly, like
Mm,
like like a weird broken version that like didn't. But he still called himself Legion because they are basically a hive mind.
hive mind.
That
Yeah,
is a great villain idea.
yeah.
Um, where like legitimately it doesn't matter. They all fucking think on the same wavelength. You are fucked if they decide screw you. Uh, so yeah, I don't know. I'm in for that. Like I'm there for it as long as it's not as fucking bad as Mass Effect Andromeda. I'm cool. Like, because that game was a piece of fucking poo poo. Um, and I like that series. I've beaten every single one of those games, and I don't even really like RPGs. Like, and I've still done it because it's actually RPGs. Um, yeah, like maybe next time I don't know, hump the ship or something. Like, well, because you can hump everything else in that game. Um, so yeah, I don't know. This looks good. Like good teaser trailer, good poster. Nice to see that they're actually working on that. Good of EA to be like, hey, you fucked up the last two things, but probably that was mostly our fault. So maybe we should just let you guys kind of fucking do your own thing, and then we'll come back.
Yeah.
But yeah, that sounds. Yeah, I like that.
Okay. Cool. Cool.
Um, I have two things left to. One is kind of quick, and one is kind of funny.
Okay.
Which would you rather do?
Matter to
Okay,
me. I've got just
done,
one. I've got one last one.
done. Uh, Liza P. Did you see the trailer for that?
Yes.
Uh,
From over there, I
so
thought you were saying Liza, like a
no,
name,
Lies
Lies of P.
P.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, I saw that.
Um,
That
yeah,
is.
looks interesting.
Yeah.
To expand for anyone who hasn't seen it, it was a trailer for gameplay. It basically looks like Dark Souls with robots. Robots are your enemies.
Mm,
They're all automatons, like big
puppets.
fucking yeah, puppets. um Liza P, I'm assuming, is a reference to Pinocchio.
Yep. It actually is.
um yeah, that's what I assumed. Combat looks like Dark Souls
Mhm.
slash Bloodborne.
Yeah.
Um, Little weird that there's like blood that comes out when he hits them, and they make like human noises and shit. I was like, wait, what? Why do these
Um.
robots make human noises when they get set on fire and crap? Like that's a little weird.
Well, as far as like the blood coming out, one could argue, okay, that's
Oil,
oil, it's hydraulic fluid, things like
sure,
that.
sure.
The noises have you ever heard like any sort of mechanical thing in a fire? You know how sometimes they make a screeching sound?
This literally sounded like little girls like "Meh." Like this was not like
Okay,
a like
well,
that definitely sounded way too human for my
well,
likings. But
yeah.
weapon variety looked really cool. The different mobs that they showed really did look great. Like this team is doing big boy moves.
Mhm.
Um which is great. So if you're into Dark Souls, check out the Lies of P gameplay
Yep,
trailer because you'll probably end up liking that too.
yep.
Okay, I got one left.
My question
Um,
about it is though, at what point does his nose start growing?
I mean, I don't know. It'd be funny if that was a weapon. Like he lies and snaps it off, and then just like lies and snaps it off. Dual wield broken noses.
Oh,
Good job.
jeez.
All right, you go over your last one, then I got one more.
All right. Sega and Microsoft, they're actually teaming up for making a next gen cloud gaming platform.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna say, let's see here. How many cloud gaming platforms have we had, and
In
how
the
many
last
of them are successful and still around today? I think I can count that on 0 fingers.
Yeah. I can make a little donut with my hand.
Yeah, I mean,
Like, mm,
cloud gaming
uh,
is not a good
Stadia,
thing.
I think Stadia is still around.
Well, oh yeah, I mean,
But
Stadia's around. There's actually like, I want to say there's at least like half dozen of them.
yeah, but
They're still around. It's you have to be in a very high um brand brand brand
bandwidth.
bandwidth area, and also making sure that you have a big enough bandwidth to wherever the data center is that is
Right.
hosting all this. And honestly, in the United States, yeah, that doesn't fucking happen. That is
And
just like no.
like on top of that, I don't want to be that guy. And I don't want to badmouth an entire company, but out of all the dudes to get in bed with an idea like this,
Oh yeah,
Sega?
yeah.
Like really?
Hmm.
Sega? Oh
Hmm.
yeah, no, they got an immaculate track record.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like what?
Let's see here. What hardware have they come out with since the
What good
Dreamcast?
games have they come out with? That's I don't even know. Like
True.
like I just I don't
Aside
know.
from Sonic, aside from Sonic.
Which Sonic? One, two, arguably fucking like that one that came out that they didn't even do. Like, like I don't know. I read that article and I was like, what? Like who thought this? Like I know Microsoft is all about this like world uniting thing in gaming sphere,
Yeah.
but this one just sounded weird. That'd be
Hmm.
like me, a big I'm fucking Gordon Ramsay and I'm like, I have now announced that I'm going to make a new service with the Burger King. Like, you know what I'm saying? And it's like actually the king with the big plastic head and shit.
Yeah.
You'd be like, are you insane? Like, you're just flushing money. Like, yeah, I don't know. That just seems really fucking weird to me. But, I'm not. Maybe they got big things in the works and this time it's going to work. Um,
Yeah. Credits actually does make a good point here. Sonic Mania was actually a good game.
it
Uh,
was, but it
how,
wasn't made by Sonic Team.
however, it did start as a fan
Right,
project that
right.
Sega was just like, oh hey, we're gonna hire you.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
seem to know what you're doing.
Right. Because we have no idea what we're doing. We've been fucking this up for years at this point.
Yes, yes, they have.
Like, so, and by the way, you also took, to be fair, the cheapest way back into making a good Sonic game. You
Mm,
didn't make a 3D one. You just basically fucking remade the old ones. You made a
yep,
fucking 2D Sonic. Yeah,
yep.
dude, if you can't make a 2D Sonic at this point, dude, what the fuck? Get fucked. Dude, you're the ones who did it. Like, I
Hmm.
don't know. Whatever.
Oh
It's
yeah,
fine. Hey, good stuff. I'm really excited to see where Sega and Microsoft flush enough money to save a small country down the fucking tubes. Like, this is gonna be a $200 million complete and total failure within a year.
Yeah, I was just about to say, is it going to be more or less than $53 million that
I
they
think it's
wind up
definitely gonna be
flushing?
more than $53 million. I think this is gonna
True.
be embarrassing on every level. Unless
Yeah.
because I can't now granted, this is like a brand new announcement and shit, but I just cannot like with my dumb little human monkey brain think of anything that this partnership could do that is well. Fucking they're gonna make a fucking new Sonic game and fucking Master Chief is gonna be the ball or like come on. All you gotta do is get one service. You gotta pay 19.99 per month. Like fuck you. Like this is stupid.
Yeah.
But whatever. Um,
Especially in this day and age where we have all this computer chip shortage. It's like, wait, you're going to do what now?
I mean, to be fair, I think that that does kind of right. Like, so with that exact rationale,
Mm,
cloud does make more sense, right? It doesn't
yeah,
have to be on a person to person basis. It can be everyone uses one data bank.
true. It's still
I just think the
always a
technology
thing
just
of,
isn't there.
yeah, yeah, no, no, it's not.
And I think that's the biggest problem at the end of the day.
Yeah,
Um, But hey, good luck to you, Microsoft.
yeah,
Hey,
yeah.
and good luck to you, Sega, because you've basically got about another 2, 3 projects that you fail until you basically disappear into like obscurity and you're gone. Like, and we will all. Be... Here's the thing, though: if that did happen and Sega got fucking went tits up, maybe some people would come along and buy the IPs and actually do something properly with them. Hey,
Imagine if someone bought up the IP for Altered Beast and came out with a game for it
right,
now.
right,
I mean,
right.
they've been sitting on that for how long?
Right. There is stuff that Sega owns. Well, yeah, that's true. Did you play that last Golden Axe game that came out on the Xbox 360? Woo, boy, howdy! I'd love to talk about how bad that fucking hunk of shit was.
Did you play the one that actually was not released but still made it onto Steam as a
Oh
tech
no.
demo?
Yeah, no, I didn't.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
played it. I
like
played it. I have it in my library. It's like, wow, yeah, I can see why this didn't work.
yeah, goddamn, dude. Ugh. Sega is literally like could be one of the only companies that I think is like actually allergic to their own money. Like they just want it out of their pockets. It gives them hives. They don't want to be anywhere near it.
Mm-hmm.
And good ideas, they just fucking get that the fuck away from me. Like I do not want any of that shit either.
Yep.
Um, all right, last one, right?
Yep.
Okay. Um, so this one's a little interesting. Little gonna be a little jumpy here. The first reviews of Shin Megami Tensei 5 have been slowly coming out, and the as I will refer to them as from now on SMT fanboys are fucking livid because the reviewers are basically saying it's basically Persona 5 without the heart. Well, here's the problem with that. Persona 5 Persona is a spin-off of SMT.
Yep.
Ooh, yeah, that's a little ouchy. Um, and I feel bad. Like, this is like being into an indie band and somebody leaves and does a solo project, and then that solo project is more touted than the original band. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
But I looked into it out of just sheer fucking morbid curiosity. Um, the listed numbers for sales for Persona 5 was over 2 million copies. It just said 2 million plus.
Okay.
SMT4, 600,000. Well, what do you think is going to be said? You know?
Yeah. The other thing though is this also comes to a point of know your damn game history.
Yeah,
Know what came from what kind of thing.
right. That is true.
Um, because the modern fanboys of SMT are sitting here saying, "Oh, it's just this without the heart in it." It's like, uh,
Right.
you want to know the history of the franchises, maybe?
Well, and like, okay, if Persona is a spin-off of Shin, like, then like I get it. It's a very, very cool core audience. I mean, shit, it can't be that small because 600,000 copies is not a bad
Oh
title,
no.
depending on money you put into it, right?
Yeah, yeah.
But to like get salty about somebody being because it is a one-to-one correlation. That's the thing.
Hmm.
It's the same. This is the original. This is now a spin-off. So people are obviously going to make that correlation, right? Like that'd be like saying um, Dark Souls 3 is fucking or is wait, actually, this is a perfect fucking metaphor. Dark Souls 3 is a better game than Demon Souls. It's Demon Souls. You know, do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah.
Whereas I am a Demon Souls guy. Like, I think the Demon Souls is the superior, but I wouldn't be like, this is bullshit. What? Oh, these fucking reviewers don't know fuck all. Like, I'd be like, oh, well, yeah, okay, I get it. Like, because Demon Souls wasn't for everybody. But Dark Souls kind of is aimed at more like for everybody kind of
Hmm.
stuff.
Yep.
And fuck you, look at fucking Persona 5. That team fucking worked their ass off
Oh god, yeah.
over several games to make their own identity and to get it to a point where visually and soundtrack wise, to a point, it stands out so much that it sold fucking buku fucking crazy dollars,
Oh yeah, yeah. Exactly.
Fucking haters, man. Always fucking haters. But
Not a good thing.
not the best. But what are you gonna do? All right. Anything else?
Not that I've got.
Me either. And I'm sweaty and I gotta pee. So
And it's 10 after 11, so it sounds like a good time to call it there.
yeah. All right. Well, I'm gonna go say goodbye to my stream, and you go dues, and then we'll say goodbye to Julie. Like,
Sounds good.
you know what? Just one last thing, just because it just popped up. I don't like. Is there a place in the Epic Game Store where I can turn off these fucking notifications, even when it's not open?
I'm gonna say no.
Oh my god, that is fucking obnoxious. That's the price you pay for free games, people. You want these free games, these fucking notifications are gonna pop on your PC ad nauseum. This is really annoying. That is mad annoying. Literally,
That
now available, Football Manager 2022. Yes, thanks for knowing me so well.
that's also why I start up the Epic Game Store Thursday at like noon, and
Mhm.
then shut it down Thursday at like 12:15.
I mean, it's not even running. I'm gonna have to go in
It
the
it
fucking
it
task
has to be
manager.
running somewhere
Like,
to
I'm gonna
have
have to
those
go in the
pop-ups.
task manager and be like, "Fuck off!" Like, is what I'm gonna have to do.
Yeah.
Like, because it's not on my. Whatever. All right. Now I'm done with that grumpy ass run. But
the only thing I can sit there and think is down in the lower right of the taskbar where there's that up arrow that says "Show hidden icons."
oh yeah,
It's
I didn't even
probably in
think about
there.
that.
Yeah,
Oh,
because
it is. You son of a bitch.
see, because I shut
Good
it down.
call.
I shut it down from there and tell it to exit program.
God damn it! What a pile. Ugh.
Yeah.
This is the fucking day and age we live in. Like, I love it for the most part, but my God. Oh, you know what else we didn't talk about?
Hmm.
Super, super fast. Um, League of Legends and Valorant and all other Riot games are now available in the Epic Store. They are
Ooh.
not available on Steam. You still weirdly have to download the Riot client, which I mean, I guess makes sense, but at least you don't have to go to fucking Riot's thing. And the only reason I bring this up is because if you go to Valorant.com and you try to download Valorant, there is no way to change what fucking drive it goes to, which is obnoxious. So I went like the other day. I was like, fuck it, I'll check out some Valorant. I'm a CS:GO guy, whatever. Um, and I went there, and it just whatever slash whatevs, and I was like, I can't change what drive it goes to. I don't want it on my fucking C drive. I want it on my fucking D or E drive.
Yeah.
So I gave up. Went to Epic today when it launched, and if you get it through Epic, you can tell it to go onto a different drive.
Hmm.
What the
Okay.
fuck? Like, I love all these fucking hoops that we have to jump through now.
Yeah.
And like
Yeah.
we're fucking trained goddamn dogs.
Especially in this
And
day and age where how a lot of people who either build computers or have a computer built for them,
sure.
if they're having a computer built for them, usually the person building the computer knows,
Mhm.
okay, C drive, that's the OS,
Right.
maybe a little bit extra space for a couple of things, but inform the person, put everything else on
Right.
this other drive.
Right. Why would Valorant by nature be like, just go to the C drive? Like that's insane.
Yeah.
Because you're right. And FYI, not like we don't all fucking know this, but every single Windows update makes that OS bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. So you kind of really should have them separated and nothing should go to your C drive. Like,
Yep.
I don't know. Fucking bizarre, man.
Yeah,
But
I actually have like maybe a half dozen programs on my C drive aside from Windows. One of them actually is Steam, but Steam
yeah,
installs everything to my
D.
D drive.
Me too. Me too.
So, because Steam itself is very small, and even with
Yeah.
it getting updates, it's still very small.
Right, the
So,
client itself.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, and I was actually thinking about getting one of those NME, and
NVMe,
like, yeah,
yeah.
and like rotating. I don't know, it's just such a fucking goddamn process. But I don't know. I love that we're having like a fucking tech portion at the end of our show this time. Fucking griping like old men. This is a bunch of PC master race bullshit. But
Get off
you
my
know,
lawn.
well, I mean, I do want my OS to run better. So I mean, like
Yeah,
everyone should fucking know this shit.
yeah.
Uh, anyways, all right. I will talk to you in a minute.
Yep. Catch you later.
Yeah. Peace.
Alrighty, guys. That's gonna do it for us tonight. Kratos, you got a character, same name on Fairy. Cool, very cool, man. I will check that out. I don't know. But yeah, you know my. Well, no, you can't actually send me a friend request or mail because we're not friends there. So shoot. Yeah. Let me know next time you're on. I will try and jump on and send you a friend request, or you send me a friend request, or whatever. But yes. Either way, guys, that'll do it for us tonight. I will archive the episode. It is episode 20. Can you believe it? We've now done 20 of these episodes. So that'll be cool. More importantly, as always, guys, every Tuesday night we do the talk show here. So you guys don't have to go digging around on those ad-ridden gaming news sites. We'll do it for you. Just keep showing up. We'll give you all the juicy bits, so you guys don't have to be slogged by all those annoying ads. Other than that, tomorrow Destiny rating, more than likely. If not, we'll figure out something on the fly. Friday speedrunning, Saturday sticks, long play of sticks, and then Sunday we'll be doing more of the 111 challenge in Factorio. Till then, guys, I will catch you all later. Bye.